That sounds like a plan. We are good to go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the stand, as well as my plaintiffs at large here. We are gonna go play some motherfucking Genesis. Last time we left off with the Call of the Hunger, you guys had just returned to what I would not call your home, but a place that you have become quite familiar with, the industrial city of Lamar.
I definitely don't want it to be home.
While it's not home, you have made quite a few friends, acquaintances in your time here. As you walk through the central gates to the mercantile district, you see that a great deal of work has been done to fix the city since the last catastrophe. Some of which you were responsible for, but there's been some things that have developed since the last time you were here. In fact, as you walk through the streets, you can actually see you can see the band of Duragar, led by Mirolava Ruban, hard at work. Which is a bit odd, because they were supposed to have been back to Agatas over a twillet ago. And as you make your way through town here in the mercantile district, the city is beset by a quaking. And as the buildings rumble around you, you quickly panic that another catastrophe like RND6 is coming again. But quickly enough, the quake subsides, and it has left the city with very, very little damage. However, you can start to hear the mutterings of the townspeople. Some going, again? That's the third time in the last 2 days. As they have apparently become acclimated to this sort of occurrence. Before you had left, you had talked to Vivigeni, and he had mentioned that some of the ways had been left a little tilled since the calamity, and that had been responsible for some collapses, etc., in the city. Could this be that? Who knows? Now standing in the mercantile district, what is it that you guys want to do?
I think we should warn people about the grain from Bilchester being spoiled.
I want to sell my doors.
Nobody want to ask the dwarves we know what's up?
Yeah, I don't know, like we're in the mercantile district, right?
Oh, I'll chat with those guys to start.
I mean, yeah, if we're already in the mercantile district, I would just see if there's like a pawn shop or something that I can walk into.
Yeah, so you actually know of a pawn shop in the city that is located in the central slums. And so Bolt starts to head his way towards the Scraped Scraps, a scrapyard that you guys had actually bought some materials and supplies for your original invasion of the Onyx Manor. Walking inside, there is a fox-like Leonin who is got several burned patches of fur here and there, but she doesn't look worse for wear, and has goggles up on her head and suit pretty much coating her leather apron and patching onto her garments underneath. She goes, "I'll be right there. One moment, please." As you see her finish what appears to be doing something with fire and sparks in the background with some strange contraptions and sheet metal. She comes back over to you. What is it that I can help you with?
At first I just produce one of the doors. And I'm just like, what do you reckon this is worth?
Real fake doors.
How much did I tell you the doors are worth?
You told me 10 platinum each.
Okay. She goes, "Oh, look at that there. Huh. These doors are worth quite a penny." She kind of takes it from you and looks it over. "I could probably melt it down, get a decent chunk of platinum out of this. Maybe 4 to 6.
And then I produce the second one.
Woo! Wherever you got this from, that must have been a really pretty, cabinet or whatever. Say, out of curiosity, you looking to part with these or just an appraiser?"
I have no use carrying them around.
Well,
I'd be looking for partial trade or money.
we'll tell you what. I don't really have the funds around this pawn shop to be able to buy these off of you, but I can get the platinum out and melt it down, and I'll do it for 10% of whatever I can salvage out of it. That way I'm incentivized to to find whatever I can out of this scrap of wood here, but also I can compensate it for my work.
You can go to the other guys real quick. I want to think about something.
Yep. And if you're gonna do any bartering, I'm gonna need a negotiation check from you, so that'll determine what we say next.
Yep.
So moving over, who else wants to set out into the city?
I was thinking we could just ask one of the shops that might be adjacent to, where they're receiving grain, and see if we can find out what's going on with the rumbling and let Emery do the talking.
Absolutely. One second.
I gotta do the talking. Are you sure?
Yeah, it's kind of your whole thing.
Remember how
It's not my
I super
whole thing.
awesomely deceived Einval the second time we came to see him and everything worked out really well for us?
Yeah, I do. I just remember, as long as you don't want me to lie either, I can help speak. But I am honest to a fault.
In the mercantile district, there are people hawking all sorts of produce, etc. Across the river, you see the large storage facility of Bushman Farms, where they also sell in bulk. How would you like to approach this?
So what are we?
Tell them what we found out about Bilchester and the grain that they got from there being potentially contaminated.
And we're where right now? The market.
You're in the mercantile district right now, so actually I'm just going to pull you over to the main map here. city.
Wasn't
So
there?
in
Thank
the-
you. I was gonna.
Yeah. So in the top left area, kind of over here, is where people come through that gate right there on the side of the river, the left side of the river, and that's where they'll find inns, and it's a nicer area of town. If you go across the river, this is the entrance that people who take farm goods into town and sell them wholesale to Bushman Farms. Number one is Bushman.
That's what I was trying to remember the name of. Thank you. Yeah, then we should head to Bushman Farms, which isn't too far.
Yep. So you guys can take a quick boat trip across the river, the river there to the other side, and there's dock workers and whatnot, and that'll cost you like a silver to do. And on that side there's workers, and you can easily enough track down like a foreman who's appears to be busy. Looking over at you guys. What? U.S. security?
We've just come
No.
from Bilchester and have news to share.
Well, I got work to do. I mean, well, are you gonna be shouting from rooftops? What is it?
Want to speak?
We need to make
Bushman
sure that
Farms?
everybody who has recently, within maybe even the past 6 months to a year, received grain from Bilchester is checking it, because we found out that it was intentionally contaminated by Lord Einval.
We'll take it up. Well, we'll have to take it up with freight or botany. I'll get you over there. And he turns around, and this orc leads you guys to the facility, and there's a lot of gruff people going, watch it there, as they're moving things around on these tracks, and moving different pallets of goods with cranes, etc. They make it through the facility, and he ends up into kind of like this small greenhouse that is nested away inside there. And he looks in and shouts out, "Don't!" Yeah, he's up in his office. All right. And yeah, he turns around and he heads to the facility, and eventually comes to a ornate door set in a nicer area of the facility. Kind of like brushes his shirt off, straightens his pants for a moment, and knocks on the door.
It's also
You-
a platinum door.
Full circle.
The orc, platinum.
Everything's platinum these days.
You hear, "Come in." And he opens up the door and goes, "Sorry to bother you, sir. These folks are all raising up an alarm about something to do with a shipment of goods not being good or something like that. Kind of reminds me of what you guys were hearing all that squirming around about Bilchester." And inside the door, you see a ashen-colored, stout woman with a heavier set jaw and red and yellow markings on their face. She looks over across the desk towards you guys, and you know that this is a Duragar, a dwarf of the depths, found in certain areas of the old world. She looks over at you guys and goes, "Very well. Come in. Close the door on your way out, Testivar." "Yes, of course." Shuts the door. As you guys walk in, I'm gonna have Emery. Can you give me a charm check?
You know what? I suppose I could. Also, did anybody pay that silver that he mentioned, or was it a silver each?
Just one total silver.
I can do it.
I could.
Thanks.
Okay. You can even just mark it on my sheet if you want me to pay for it. I just can't touch my sheets.
I have spoken.
Okay, a charm. I'm not great at charm, but we'll try. Gotten a lot better though. 2 and 3.
Okay. It seems that your interactions with some of the with the foreman, etc., down at the docks has managed to get you kind of get you through all the red tape by just kind of like getting someone who's flustered. This is like this isn't my job, and trying to push you off, and has managed to get you into this room.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, you can tell right away that this person is probably pretty far up, and they already feel like they are being intruded upon, right? So that's kind of the context of this situation so far.
Okay. Sorry to intrude. I'm sure you're very busy. My name is Emery, and this is Wretch, and this is Ilya. We're part of the Baleful Four, and we are just here to tell you about a problem in Bilchester, which perhaps you've already heard about the food spoilage. Is that the case?
Give me an interpretation check.
Interpretation is actually cunning, huh? Okay. Oops. 3 and 1.
You do see recognition on their face, as you mentioned the Bilchester food spoil. They kind of look at you and nod in a way that is like, I'm listening.
Okay. Well, we're here to tell you that it's very grave, very serious, and that any food or grain from Bilchester should be destroyed immediately. It shouldn't be disseminated. It's not safe to eat. I'll pause there for a second to see her response before.
I assure you, we've had the botany department look at the grain from Bilchester, as well as several of the other local villages that have had troubles, especially since the incident at R&D. Sorry, the A&B Corp incident. We are making every attempt we can to get rid of the spoiled food. Ensure that only the food that is adequate for eating is being dispersed. But mind you, with quality comes scarcity. And so we have to balance that hedge, make sure that the folks are being fed, lest the famine break even worse.
So there's food spoilage in Bilchester, this is Ilya, which resulted from the catastrophe from A&B Corp. But what we're speaking of was intentional contamination by Lord Einval himself and perhaps several other townspeople to contaminate the grain with human remains.
Give me, you can give me either a leadership check, or I would go with coercion as well, as this is kind of a frightening sort of thing, trying to express the gravity of the fear, so to speak.
Oh, there we go. Oh, 2 and 1?
He looks at you. Sorry, she looks at you. Human remains. You realize Draken in the Highlands, they eat people, right? It's no problem.
But when human beings eat human remains, that's when it's an issue. I can't speak for the other. Like, is there
It is.
As a player, is there a Genesis term for bipedal humanoids?
Sapient is the term for all people who walk around and speak common and all that sort of stuff.
For sapiens, Lauren Einval was. Wait, Emery knows what she's talking about. She has some stats.
I would be happy to speak to your alchemy department if you would like, but there's actually a lot of validity to what my friend here is saying, and the fact of the matter is that brain matter is different, and it can cause quite a contaminant. And she just she starts just going into this very a little too nerdy explanation, but makes it seem she obviously knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm gonna scroll up to something real quick. Maybe I scrolled in the wrong direction. That's what happens when you have 107 pages worth of notes.
How many notes?
So as of right now, you have 120 gratitude within the city of just general gratitude, and most of that is with the flotsam, which is kind of the downtrodden people who are broken and live in the slums. You've generated some gratitude with a couple of the other companies, namely Chettle and a little bit with Ammo and Mastercraft, but so far with Bushman Farms, you guys are even with.
Mm-hmm.
So while you have some pull, while you have a lot of pull with the flotsam, you've got a good amount of pull with the company men. When it comes to the corporate execs, which is what this person is they're in the higher tier of the company, you have very little pull with these people, and specifically, you haven't really done anything with Bushman Farms as of yet. So I'm just putting that out there for right now because you guys can use gratitude in a lot of different ways. If you wanted to, for instance, go back to that foreman and try to convince them all to establish a quality control lookout. You could spend gratitude to do certain things like that. But circling back to this person right now, you don't really have anything that you could spend with this person. So I just wanted to bring that up because you guys can use that a lot throughout the city in a lot of different ways. Where we left off, you, Emery, were trying to convince this person to look into this kind of brain matter and stuff like that, and basically get audiences with some of the other people in this company. And they stop and go, just for actually give me a negotiation roll.
See, I thought it would be a knowledge roll because I'm just throwing knowledge their way.
Fortunately, knowledge doesn't convince people all the time
2 and 1
to do what you want.
Nope.
So they're looking at you and go, so just what are you hoping for us to do? Explicit.
We're trying to avoid a catastrophe. Ma'am? Is it ma'am?
Man.
I couldn't remember what I was talking to.
It's very hard to tell with these people anyways.
Okay. Trying to avoid a catastrophe, man. That's it. That's all. You don't understand the gravity of the situation. If any consume this brain matter of their own kind or of the sapient, they can become thralls to a dark force that you would not want anyone to serve.
Okay. So, are you saying we have to throw out all of the Bilchester grain? Or are you suggesting that you can go through and it's not like we're serving brains to people. You know this, right? Grain is grain.
I understand. However, it's hard to find the source. It's very discreet, or I don't know how to the right word.
Inconspicuous?
Yeah. Inconspicuous. You, of course, wouldn't be serving anything to the people that wouldn't appear safe to eat, but it's kind of innocuous, I guess. It would be difficult to detect, but the effects would be catastrophic.
They stand up for a moment and kind of turn and, hands behind their back and look out their window for a moment.
The thinking man's pose.
Turning back, they kind of say, so, how would you suggest going about this if you were Bushman Farms?
I don't presume to know everything about your organization, but I would assume that I don't. How do I put this? Like that when you're receiving goods, you know who you're getting your goods from, and you have a place that you put the storage, and that you would be able to identify what has come specifically from that farm. I would recommend that be disposed of, perhaps by burning, to be safe. That seems like an apt way. And if you want me to do like an intelligence check to have a better idea than that, I definitely can, but...
Go for it. Give me knowledge, give me either an alchemy check or a mechanical check.
A mechanical check?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah!
Is that what you're going with?
Yeah! 6 and 1. I know how things are put together.
I got 4 failures.
Doesn't
So,
matter.
because of how hard it was. You realize that you probably don't need to necessarily throw out all of the food. There's probably a chemical and mechanical process that you could use to save out the matter using densitometry. Brain matter floats, so you could put it in water and have it float to the top and then drain it and all that sort of stuff. There's mechanical processes that you could do that would allow them to still maintain the food, which means that people don't go hungry and that the food prices don't go up.
So glad my character's smarter than me.
Oh, those are things we could do. I'll have to get maintenance involved, but I do realize this stuff is not cheap. And quite frankly, it's it failed to impress upon me the issue with the extra protein that they're getting. To me, it's quite frankly just more nutrient dense at that point. But I'm not the one you'll have to convince. Quite frankly, the one who pulls the strings on this is Constance Michel. Constance runs finances, and what you're asking is costly. I imagine you may... I imagine you don't necessarily have the gold or even platinum around that it would take to afford the company men's time and the resources from Fallowhead Ironworks that we'll need to create such mechanizations.
In Nash walks with a door. Does this cover it?
What is?
Hey guys, I just bought a house.
What is Wretch doing?
Well, if you wanted me to go with them, then sure. Otherwise, I was gonna go ask about the quakes.
No problem. You can definitely go off and go ask about the quakes. Who are you attempting to find to ask about the quakes?
Well, I did a lot of like healing charity work around here, so I'd assume I'd have some sort of communication with like the local hospital, like whatever form of doctors there are. So I would go to a medical center and see if like, hey, if people come in with like fucking crushed skulls from buildings collapsing, or what's going on with the shakes.
Yeah, so you can either go to one second.
'Cause there was that one place you were doing a lot of healing in. I don't think it's marked on the map, though.
I was just sitting on the side of the street healing people.
I thought there was like an alchemy den or something. Like a...
Bitterroot's business was the
Yeah.
place that he was at. Yeah, for that. But hold on a second, there was.
Remember people on like opium or something.
Yeah. So there's Brother Olog's Institute of Medicine, which is where you guys actually got healed up at a while ago. There's Bobbit the Back Alley Biomancer, whom you guys met a while ago as well. And then there is Bitterroot's business run by Bob that you went to, and that's where your former sailor captain was found as well.
Mhm.
So you can go to any of those places, or you can roam the streets.
Okay. I'll go to the Biomancer.
Okay. As you walk through the streets, you hear a familiar voice, and second here, you hear, took some time getting back around here, and leaning up against one of the walls is a fiery-haired, small leprechaun woman with a nose ring and a bit of a sallow complexion. This, this is Clara, and you remember her as one of the contacts for Friendly.
Hey. Yeah, we've been a little busy.
So I'm sure, saving the world and all. Well, it's been rather exciting around here as well. So, I imagine that you have a bit of a conversation to be had with my employer. Yours as well, your humble patron. I'm sure you intend to
Sure.
tell him you're in town.
Not doing anything right now. They're available now.
Oh, of course, I could take you to Friendly. If it's not an inconvenience to you, you seem to be running errands or something. Say, what's your
Just wanted to
plans?
find out. I wanted to find out why this place is shaking so much.
Oh, yeah, the quakes. They having everyone shiver their timbers. But trust me, Friendly seems to be on it as well. Luckily enough, he's keeping those other folks on retainer. Whew, the money of the Cerebrum Sierra doesn't seem to run dry. Anyways, she starts walking. You give chase.
Ooh, I give chase.
She inquires on the walk about your guys' goings on. Are you an open book, or are you trying to keep cards to your chest or anything?
I'll mostly talk about what happened in Bilchester, not as much the whole Cinder thing.
Okay.
But I'll just be like, I mean, more detail than this, but along the lines of, you know how it is, finding corrupt hamlets, dealing with corrupt hamlets, finding out the hamlets are more corrupt than you thought, dealing with it again, dealing with it another time, losing friends.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's lost a friend in the old world, and some to the creepy things that take shelter in Holdenford. Some to zealots. Others, the wild animals that prey out of the woodlands. Anyways, she had led you high up into the mountains, into the rich district, where she has come to a building that appears to have kind of a loud busyness to it, but doesn't appear to be the same type of loud busy that you're used to. Because this place is posh. There's a sign over the front that says the Velvet Pedal, and the guards at this side, who at this point you've actually been checked by a couple of guards just to get into this district. They recognize both you and the leprechaun that you're with, and they let you in. And you see very quickly that you are amongst the elite of the city, of all sizes and shapes and races. And Clara makes her way through comfortably, but she looks at you and goes, I probably should have. I didn't really think about it. I spent so much time in the circus. Quite frankly, you don't smell as bad as I thought you would. But maybe that's just...
nose. I pick my nose with my tongue and say thanks.
Why Dahlia picked you? I don't know, but maybe it's just the beautiful hair. Anyways, she continues down, and you see that sitting in some pillows with a hookah on a low-set table is Friendly, who appears to be conversing with other people who are very well dressed. And looking around, he catches Clara catches his eye, and he puts a finger in the air for one moment, and he seems to be wrapping something up, and then folks get up from the couch and start walking off in different directions to imbibe in all of the other things that this place has to offer. Being a also was underneath the sign was a fanned hand of cards. This is a facility owned by Marlotta's trade house, which is actually not even set in Waikiki. Sorry, set in the old world. It's owned and operated out of a different country entirely. So anyways, he waves you to come and sit with him.
I go. It was fine.
Wretch. Such a pleasure. I never know of you adventuring types if you're ever going to be coming back to the fold.
We'll always come back to this place until our business is done.
Or you are eaten. And I don't mean that as a threat. I just simply saying I have dealt with many strong types, and they never assume it's their day.
I don't know if I can die.
Oh! Well, I encourage you not to take that to a test.
It keeps getting tested without my consent.
I think that you need
I'm just looking at him like with a mild smile, but I'm saying it seriously, so it's very off-putting.
You may want to rethink your life choices if you do not think that you may have given consent priorly in maybe Twillet's past and the path that you set yourself on. But I understand that, there are many hands at play. I certainly can sympathize with that. So, you are in town. It is time for a time for celebration. No? We missed you at the turn. That's New Year's celebration around here.
Yeah, we're having a different kind of party, depending on the day that fell on. Not a good party.
Yeah,
None of our parties are any good.
You were fucking around with Bill Chester for sure 8 days ago.
It's not a good party.
Yeah, it's not a good party. And you are back. Hoping to stock up and finish off your Sindar business, or have you finally come to start in on the mutually understood problems of this town.
Oh, we're still consistently working on the mutually understood problems of this town, sir. In fact, we just busted up a ring of zombie poisoners. They're putting brain in the grain. Don't need anything made out of grain for like 3 or 4 weeks here.
Oh, I appreciate your efforts. But I don't see what that has to do with the grave slate.
Grave slate?
Doesn't
The
have
Grave
anything to do
Slate,
with that.
which is a moniker for Grimnod.
Oh.
They're just not using the term Grimnod openly in this place.
Oh, we're doing the
Which
Voldemort
one's Grimnod
thing.
again?
Got it.
Grimnod is the
Big
dragon
man's dragon.
Got it.
that is
Yeah.
making the entire city their bitch.
That I definitely
Yeah.
didn't forget about.
It has nothing to do with that per se, but I only bring it up to prove that we aren't exactly sitting around.
No,
And-
as we previously discussed, you need to perfect your craft if you were to ever have a chance at something like this.
Hey, you should tell him that Bull died.
You can gather. And besides, you have allies to bump shoulders with. You have supplies that you need to gather. It is a monumentous task set before you, for sure.
Question.
Of course.
Are we your only a horse in this race? Because you might want to diversify your portfolio.
Ooh. I do not, as they say, kiss and tell. But, if something were to happen to you, I would be, grief-stricken for sure. But I would not be alone in this world, if that is what you are asking. Most of my other associates are attending to other matters. I tend to try to be as efficient as possible in these matters.
Yeah, we lost one of our party members in our recent excursion, and the one we're about to go on is looking a little more dangerous still. So it might be a hot second before we're ready to deal with your dragon, but I assure you that anything we deal with now is equally as dangerous and slightly more immediate.
Give me a negotiation, leadership, or charm check.
Leader.
It better be charm, no matter what your stats are.
Actually, they're both the same for leadership and charm. It's a yellow and a green. I'll do charm, sure. 3 and 0.
He looks at you and goes, I have never doubted you for a moment, Reg.
The fact that you made me roll says differently.
I have never doubted you for a moment, Reg. So, you are a busy man. I'm sure you wouldn't take time out of your day for nothing. Even if it is just exchanging pleasantries with a handsome devil like me.
Hitting on you.
Big agree. Well, actually, your associate brought me here.
Roll deception.
Hey, as a Dalian man, I can recognize what I see. So, your associate brought me here to check in, and I didn't want you to feel slighted. So I was popping in. I was checking out the earthquakes, but is that well in
Yes.
hand?
I have kept that relief team that you brought down from Akatas on hand to help shore things up, quite literally, since everything that has been occurring. But you know, I don't think that it is just the city resettling or the mountain resettling fact, Mayor Lava Ruban himself went to the mine shafts and even checked them out, and they are structurally secure. He was even able to confirm that the rumblings do not extend into the mountains. Quite frankly, with all that stuff going on with the aberrant and the Temple of the Butterfly, I think it might have to be related to that. I'm not sure how it is all pieced together, but it is becoming more and more of a problem.
Huh. You don't know either. That is troublesome.
Yeah, listen, so some of the things that have happened around here, it has to do with that black spot. Is that black spot that you were investigating before?
Oh, God, I
So-
didn't deal with that.
So, the deal that you brokered with Ammo and with A&B and Cheto Corporation, they are dispensing with the memory moss. And that memory moss is treating victims of a particular sort, stage 2, remember. It leaches out the poisons and helps folks not acquire so many mutations after acquiring the black clot, assuming that they live past stage 1. But here's the thing. These matters have evolved. The Church of the Temple of the Butterfly, the local temple to Scrot, they have set to preaching that this so some sort of great change going on with the Flazzo. They're saying that the black spot is offering the destitute an alternative to biomancy, in that it is making some of them gain their strength back, and some of them, their ailments are leaving, but you see, how do I say this? Folks think that many of the people who have survived the black spot are monstrosities. You've dealt with them yourselves. And so there is a bit of a rift in this city. The Temple of the Butterfly insists that the people who have survived these transformations are simply in a metamorphic stage, a pupa, if you will. And so they have managed to bully their way through their ties with the tabernacle and their ties with the models of this town, and the area most affected by R&D6 is now most inhabited by the aberrant subjects, as we've taken to calling them, has been quarantined. They've quarantined the area, and those who are infected outside of that area are treated with the stuff that you have brokered deals with, those that survive anyway. It's still very contagious, so they have to be very careful with it, but those who live flee to this area, and I don't think it is a coincidence that that is also this place that Miro Lava has identified that the quakes may be coming from.
Oh, weird.
I'm gonna go back to
The
Bull
earthquakes
while
are
you
coming from somewhere that
yeah.
sick people are gathering?
The quakes are coming from the area that is like the fallout zone from RNG6, which is also where a lot of the aberrant subjects are making their den. Whether or not that's because there's less people there or what, not exactly sure, but you do distinctly remember that when you came across those Tekeknu who were at that point no Tekeknu. Vivigani told you, he's like, hey, this is a secret, but my people aren't getting sick, dude. and then you found some that turned into mutant snails that went, "What am I?" in chorus to you before dissolving into goo. So anyways, Bull, back to you.
Excuse me. That is Nash.
Nash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I got my line of questioning ready. So she offered me 10% to melt them down.
No, you get 90%.
Uh,
to be clear.
Yeah, what I mean is she offered 10% her cut. I would like to take a quick look around her store and see if she has any equipment like helmet or armor accessories.
Yeah. Give me a streetwise check, or
Yep. So just give you a better idea because I couldn't find it in the gear list. There's a helm listed in there that's just a plain iron helm. That's fine. Otherwise, I'd be looking for like one of those single shoulder pauldrons or something like that.
Okay, so a single shoulder pauldron as basically like a chest armor upgrade.
Yeah, kind of like the iron helm gives you +1 resilience to physical effects,
Right. Gotcha.
something
Okay.
like that.
Yep.
You said streetwise.
Yep.
I'm gonna look right at it and not see it. Yep. 1 advantage.
One advantage. Okay. So knowing that you don't necessarily, you look around her shop and you basically just see a ton of junk metal, which is something you're super not familiar with, being a woodland creature. What do you say?
I can't tell what you have in the store. Any chance you would have any helmets or armor add-ons?
Yeah, let me take a look around. And you hear her clanging and banging and things being thrown around. Let me take a look over here. How many hard points does your armor have?
My armor. Is that HP or is that the health points?
HP is your hard points.
Okay. My armor has 2.
Your armor has 2, and you have none of them
Yep.
used?
That depends because it does have the fearsome aspect, so I don't know if that takes one of them.
That does. Yep. I think you put on spikes or something like that, right?
I bought it this way.
Oh, yeah, I think it has.
I bought it when we were at the dwarves.
Yeah, it must have spikes. So, pushing around and through the facility. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Here we go. Action really quick. Good. Let's see. Sorry, I have these books. Where do we look this sort of thing up? Stackable statuses, features cost, plus. Okay. So you could get for 1 hard point, stackable status features. For spikes, that would probably be depending on like you could do inflict bleed if you wanted to as an addable feature to bull rush.
I don't have Bull Rush anymore.
Oh, okay. What do you have? Do you have any crowd control type?
You took that away and gave me Bite and Dark Sight.
Okay. You could either get bleed added to grapple attacks, or you could
Yeah, 'cause
add
I
bleed
was-
to your defense.
Because I was looking at spikes in the armor attachments, but I was a little confused on what it was saying, because in the Genesis gear, it says 3 advantage for 3 wounds, and that's all it says.
Yeah, so what that basically means, and that would be a good way of doing it, I will allow you to get it with their hard points, but basically what that means is that when someone attacks you and you have threat to spend, you could go up to 3 of those threat, could do 3 wounds to the person that's attacking you.
Okay. So what if we went to something simpler where it would only require the 1 hard point, where I get like a spiked pauldron, so that if something like tries to grapple me, specifically grapple or like bite me, then it like inflicts like 1 bleed average or something,
Yeah, I'll
or
say,
makes it harder.
let's say for 1 hard point for the 600 silver price range, 2 wounds to anyone who attempts to grapple you.
Okay. I am fine with that.
Sound good?
Yeah. Next question for you specifically. I just want a better idea of the economy in this world.
Yep.
How much is like a oh god, I just had the word in my head. Like a medium wage job affordable house.
A medium wage affordable house. 1 second. That's probably gonna be in the gold range, probably like 100 gold or something like that. But let me
Okay. I just didn't know if it was gonna be something where it was gonna be like in the 100 gold range, or if it was gonna be like thousands of gold range.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be in the hundreds of gold range, generally speaking,
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Okay.
I had a there we go. A place for sale that was more than that, but it was like a manor. So I'm just trying to figure out where I put that in my notes. But yeah, I would say it's in the 100 gold-ish range.
Okay. All right. So now back to the lady. She's holding these. What would the encumbrance be on those?
No encumbrance because it's an upgrade to your armor.
Okay. So is it something that I just wear, or am I going to have somebody install it?
She'll install it for you.
Okay. All right. So she's holding. We put that on the counter. So I turn to her. And in my head, just so you understand where I'm coming from, if she's taking 10%, that's going to be somewhere around 200 gold. So I am like, tell you what, you throw in that pauldron and melt the platinum down into roughly 100 gold ingots, meaning each ingot is worth 100 gold. And I will give you 15%.
Roll negotiation.
Da, 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 da. I thought I was being generous, and she's gonna make me roll negotiation. 1 and 1.
Put it there, sir. she shakes her hand and says, "Should have this all figured out by the end of the day."
And I just kind of look at her. I'm like, do you mind if I just hang out here? Do you need any heavy lifting done
Oh,
while you do that?
sure. Yeah, you can go ahead and hang out, or, I could just deal with if you didn't want to leave your armor here, I could deal with the platinum's gonna take the longest to make sure I don't lose out on any of it. But anyways, yeah, no, if you wanted to help, I got tons of stuff in the back. That scrap metal's heavy, and if you don't hold it just right, sometimes having two hands is good to be able to leverage the weight. And she continues to go off, and yeah, you can hang out here all day if you want. She's gonna have stuff around, and
I walk over to that pile of scrap metal, grab it with one hand, and I'm like, you mean this?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, no, I'll get right to work doing the heavy lifting while she does that.
junkyard dog. All right. And we're back to Ilya and Emery.
So, yeah, we're still trying to negotiate with the Bushman Farms people. But after that, I'd like to find an armorer to see what I can do with this super sexy plate mail.
Okay. So, at this point, they have basically said that you're going to need to help subsidize this in some way, shape, or form.
And talk to their finance people.
Or talk to their finance people, etc. If you would like to just roll for this, we can do it that way, and then I can give you a sum. Otherwise, you can work your way through this hierarchy of the Bushman Farms facility.
I'm fine with it just being a roll.
Okay.
Personally, unless Ilya, you feel like going the other route.
I do have 2 points in negotiation.
Go ahead and roll negotiation.
Okay. Yeah. 1 and 1.
1 and 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, the cost is going to be about 100 gold, unless you would like to attempt to curry favor with them. That's going to be the price if you wrestle them as much as you can. It's on the price. However, if you would like, you guys can attempt to curry favor with Bushman Farms by being like, "Hey, we brought this to your attention," and then just kind of accepting whatever number they give you guys, that sort of stuff. So right now, baseline is 100 gold is what they're kind of saying is what they're going to need in order to be able to do this work. Would you like to press the negotiation, or would you like to try to curry favor?
I've got one.
We're doing great.
Almost
You only have
there.
1 gold?
Yep.
I have 1.6 gold, I think.
I have 6 gold, but I'm not there.
How much does
Just
Nash...
hang on a little bit, you guys.
That's fine.
I'm about to have about 1,700 gold, so just hold on.
Mm-hmm. Like, knowing that Bull has those doors, we could just
Hey.
wait. I'm sorry, Nash.
That's what I thought, Mallory.
Hey! Not fair! But it's fair. Yeah, we could just agree to pay, but I don't know if we want to try to negotiate anymore. I certainly feel like I don't know. I kind of need friends, and I'm not good at negotiating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be better if we curried favor anyways. Because we know Bull can probably Nash. Bull has no money because Bull is dead. Nash can foot the cost if we ask him nicely.
Yeah, we can beg
Well,
him.
just so you guys are aware, we would have had this conversation before we split up. I'm going to get the doors melted down. We're going to split the profits.
Aw, even though you had to carry the whole weight?
All 2 pounds of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, platinum. The value of platinum is that it's a lot of money in a small package.
You underestimate what's left for room in Emery's pack and what she's
True.
willing to give up for space because she has a huge pile of sticks in her bag and she's not gonna get rid of them for anything.
We have a beast of burden.
Which is where right now?
I'm assuming there's a stables or something
Yeah,
outside of town.
you guys can stables it for 2 silver a day.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah, so I think you said if we accept the cost, we are currying favor. Is that what you said?
yeah, we'll say with that roll and whatnot, you guys can walk away after paying 100 gold. You can get 25 favor.
Wait, I'm sorry. What are you guys buying?
They're paying for Bushman Farms to develop and install all of the gear that would be required to filter all of the Bilchester grain from all of the infecting brain matter contaminant.
We're paying them to
Okay.
be good.
And the favor
sounds-
is
that-
the
I was just gonna say that sounds cheap to me. Don't dispute that price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more than I have on me by far, but it seems worth, priceless to save the town.
Just be
so
like,
to speak.
Yeah, we'll have you the money tomorrow. Our buddy's at the bank right now.
yeah. That's plenty fine. So you guys broker up that they just say, hey, come back when you got the money and go from there.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Wretch.
Eh. I mean, did I leave friendly, or does
No.
he still want something from me?
No, you guys are talking, and he basically told you about the Ground Zero issue, and the fact that there's a religious sect that's like, the sick people are signs of a great change in the city. We need to protect their new habitats, now called the Pen, which is ground zero for what happened at R&D 6, down in the slums. It is now quarantined by them, and there is the earthquakes and stuff like that seem to be originating from that area. Is basically where the conversation has ended up right now.
Okay. I will have to relay this information to my party, see what they wish to do about it.
Well, if you're going to go that route, I must tell you that it gets even worse. Sorry, it gets even worse.
Searching for his French accent
Right?
again.
Lose it here and there.
Where is it in my notes?
Where's Harvey Dent? Wait, no, that's the wrong thing. Let's see here. So, the problem gets worse. I have not seen your friend. The Netari have had a lot of problems in town because of their, quite frankly, lack of problems. Sorry, Jesus, what happened to my French accent?
I told you you'd have to find it
I
in your
know.
notes.
The Netari, they have started to show symptoms of the black spot. And it has left them better than they were before. And so now folks are starting to believe that the Natari are the culprits behind the black spot. We both know this is not true. It is derivative from some crimes from Mastercraft Tectonics. But the common people do not know that, and that is not what they see. They see these folks exposed to the black spots, and then now they are iridescent, gleaming scales, healthier than before. And so people have started to ridicule and disparage them even more than they were before as a downtrodden faction in the town. Their luck seems to have changed though with the Church of Scrot, as the Church of Scrot is now appearing to defend them publicly and says that they are chosen of Scrot in this particular situation. And the Zenatari have taken a reclusive stance, which further inflames, makes space for the flames to grow. I don't know. In fact, I think they may be whipping up propaganda that folks should turn to Scrot and the sacrament of the black spot as an alternative to black biomancy, as I said before. 1 second. You know, with that, bartering has become more and more of a thing, as folks are not being able to get the goods that they need. They figure why bother with currency when they could just barter? And of course, if they are bartering, then the companies are not getting their change. Petrogovich Bank is not getting their cut. The Motuls and all them folks are now starting to get all tied up into it as well. Hell, now even the Crucible, the slag grinder itself, is taking some of the aberrant subjects and using them for the gladiator fights, which then is inflaming things with the church. Quite frankly, I think that it all is potentially turning into a citywide schism. So, with all of that considered, I think that you have some choices ahead of you. The companies need this temple and the Natari taken care of. They need this aberrant problem dealt with. They also have this problem of a potential insurrection on their hands, with the Natari working with the people and working with the temple to basically overturn the power of coin. And I feel that maybe at this next slag grinder fight, that there may be, that maybe this all will come to a head. The Natari have started to play more of a role in the slag grinder, influenced, I'm assuming, by the temple. So you may want to reach out to your friend in the Natari, if you can find him, and figure out maybe if there's a way to cause all of this to settle, or maybe just deal with whatever is going on in the pen at the Ground Zero. Anyways, take all that back to your comrades, and do what you think is best, but there's a chance that you could either step on your friends or you could step on the companies that could be very useful in dealing with both the problem in the woodlands as well as the problem with what dwells below.
Very well. I will see what we can do. Once again, I would remind you that we have a lot to juggle right now.
Oh, and one more side.
Right?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Lots to do. Me myself, I too. Oh, there are. Yeah, ironic that you said that, Sarah. There are some other ways to curry favor with the nobles. That I mentioned before last time you were in town. Consider coming back and discussing the royal spire, if you do find time. But
Yeah.
maybe a quest for another time.
As I depart, I'm going to be thinking to myself, I'm like, I mean, we have a elven god that's dying, but sure.
Guys, I found Grimnod. Circled them on the map. Problem solved.
Nice job.
It's amazing how she's just hovering there.
Just
That's right.
always there.
Mm-hmm.
She found one of those thermal vents that eagles use.
Clouds are physical, corporeal things in this world. She's just sitting on a cloud.
Okay.
What do you mean this world? Aren't they always?
Josh, don't ruin his
I
boyhood wonder.
Murdered so many clouds with planes. All right. You guys can choose to group up however you wish, and segue to that, or whatever you guys would like to do here.
Can I ask you a question? Quick
I
one.
guess we
Hello?
need to formally come up with a number that I end up leaving with. with the ingots.
Yeah, if we're moving on to that, what were you gonna ask, Sarah?
I just got confused about lore thing for a second when you were explaining stuff to Wretch.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask if the Temple of the Butterfly is the temple that worships Scrot? Are they the same
Yes.
thing?
The Temple of the Butterfly is the temple that worships Scrot. They
And
have...
Scrot is like the god of adaptation.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So their kind of stance right now is the companies are useful in that they're adapting people the way that they want. They've always championed that. All of the models, like this is like the high, like most beloved church in this city.
Mm-hmm.
But when people started getting sick and R&D 6 had that huge issue, they're like, hey guys, all of the poor people are like having this alternative access to potentially surviving and adapting. And so one of the people in the church was like, that's a sign from our God.
Yeah.
And basically they're saying, go this free route instead of going through the companies
Yeah.
for healing and all this other stuff.
Pretty
And
cool.
they're like, but people are dying. And they're like, but some people aren't. You just don't understand. And now they're saying that the whole city is now in a metamorphic state
Mm-hmm.
to shed off the companies and currency and stuff like that. And people are like, this is causing a lot of problems.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't misunderstanding and they were like two separate things.
Yep.
So yeah, money.
Yeah, you walk out with it was 20 platinum worth of resource. Unfortunately, 25% of it is destroyed effectively in the process of refining it down to ingots and stuff like that. So that's 15 platinum, and then she took 15% of that, which is effectively
Give me just a second. 15.
2.25.
Yep. So it's 2 platinum and 250 gold out of that. Like 2 platinum and 25 gold.
So yeah, that.
So you get 12 platinum and 25 gold.
12 platinum and 750.
12
Gold.
platinum and 75 gold. Sorry.
So 1 platinum is
Yeah.
100 gold?
Correct.
Yeah, so I ended up with 12 ingots and 75 gold. So when we meet back up, 12 divided by 4 is going to be 3. Each one of you is going to have 3 platinum ingots worth 100 gold each.
To be clear, it's just a plat. Like one platinum is a coin.
Oh, true. I didn't know if it had to be officially minted.
Yeah, that's the
To
thing.
say-
The royal mint is the sovereign die, which is actually in this city. The problem is that the old world, the people who used to mint those, that empire doesn't exist anymore. So now it's just like rough hewn at this point. So it works.
All right, yeah, so you each have 3 platinum now. So just remember, each platinum's worth 100 gold.
All right. 3 platinum. Okay, yeah, 3 platinum. Got it.
Can we put that down as silver?
If you want to, but that's going to be 30,000? 3,000 silver? If you want to carry 3,000 silver.
Well, I mean, for the sake, like, when I'm shopping, I'm going to have to be like, hey, can you make change for a platinum?
Well, the idea behind the platinum ingots was for, like, big purchases.
Okay.
Or bribing, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
I'll just put that as a +3 platinum.
literally just need to give one of them to
Yep.
the place then,
Mhm.
which I'm more than happy to do because I personally don't have things that I was hoping to buy in the city, so I'll pay one of my one.
Yeah, I was hoping that we were each going to end up with 4 with 1 extra, and that's how it was going to turn out. But with the loss in the smelting, yeah, one of us is just going to have to give up a platinum.
Okay, yep, I got it. And I will go
And
back.
if we do, and just remember, if we do need smaller, I am also carrying 78 gold.
Dude, for somebody who came into this with nothing and was like, can someone buy me some ABBA, please? Boys come a long way.
Well, I'm the only one that searched that ship and got those gems.
I know.
I
I'm
broke the
saying.
doors off that platinum chest.
Yeah, you did great.
All right.
And now I'm gonna go buy us a house.
So Ilya wants to go to find some upgrades for his armor. What else? Does everyone want to go shopping with him, or?
I would like to pay the 1 platinum over to the Bushman Farms, and then I would like to go talk to Diala myself because everyone else is terrified of Diala. So.
Sure. My other French accent character.
You're welcome.
At least she's a little different than. Okay. So Ilya, actually, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go get some refreshments, and then we'll kick back in. So just 4 or 5 minutes here, and then we'll kick back in.
Okay.
Okay. Hello? I'm here.
What's up?
Base of operations in town.
Yeah,
Just like a place where we can stay and keep some stuff.
I'm cool
or-
with that.
Or is it not worth it?
I don't know how much it is.
About 100 gold.
but I guess I don't see an issue with that. I feel like that might be a good idea, given that we're not the best at making and keeping friends. It would be nice to have a place we could stay, but that's just what I think.
Yeah, I just feel like as we do more and gain more clout and whatnot, it might not necessarily be safe to stay in inns all the time. The other idea I had was on our way back out of town, seeing if we can find like a pop-up camper cart that the oxen can pull.
That's cute. What do you think, Mr. A?
I don't know. Wretch isn't giving much of any input.
I'm thinking. I don't know. It could be good to have a pop-up out and about so we don't get rained on while we sleep, I suppose. I don't really have any attachment to this city, so I feel like once the quest is done, I'm out of this bitch. So I don't really want to buy like a house.
My only concern with having the pop-up is we'd basically have to stick to roads.
No, you don't. Yeah, obviously it wouldn't work very well within the bounds of...
It's either that or we can just get like a nice
Woods.
tent. Because that can be packed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Something that would give us some kind of stealth advantage when we're out in the forest, so we're less likely to get attacked.
Maybe
That would be pretty
So
neat.
like a camouflage tent,
Oh, yeah.
like a
But, you
ghillie
know.
tent.
Something extra camouflagey.
Yeah, and normally if you sleep at like an inn or something, you get like a boost die for the day. So it'd be neat if some sort of fancy ass tent gave us a good night's sleep. I like that idea.
Does anybody know what cumbersome does?
Cumbersome means it requires X amount of brawn to use. So like my armor is cumbersome 3, which means I have to have 3 brawn to use it successfully.
Hey, Josh.
Otherwise, you start to receive setbacks and stuff. What's up?
Do you run your bike without an air filter?
Baby.
Yes.
All right, so Josh, what we were discussing while you were gone was a housing situation. So I think what we ultimately ended up deciding on was finding like a nice 4-person tent that would maybe be like have a ghillie effect on it, so it would be a little more stealthy for camping in like out in the wilderness.
Okay. I dig it.
Because there's either that or a covered wagon, but I feel like covered wagon would restrict travel a little too much.
Is that what you guys are gonna try to find first?
Well, we can wait until our way out of town. Otherwise, I can just. Well, I don't think that. Yeah, the scrapyard's not going to have that.
I mean, if it's on your mind now, you might as well get it now, unless you were...
Yeah, if we still have time in the day, if it's not like 8 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah, you guys got time. Well,
Yeah.
that's not how you want to like. You can go do some of this stuff while your armor and stuff like your money is being developed, because that would have taken a while for her to smelt all those down.
Yeah, I guess I would have helped her for a while.
I mean,
Until she had.
if you guys just want to pay 5 silver, we can just start the next day. And like, there's no reason why this all needs to be done in a day. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can all bed down at one of the inns. And
Well, we wouldn't necessarily need the tent today. We wouldn't need it until we left town again.
yep.
Mm-hmm. But
But just something for you to think on cost and whatnot.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll think about that. In the meantime, so we'll say that brokering all those deals and stuff like that with the Bushman Farms and getting that stuff smelted down and whatnot, that takes about the rest of the day. And then Wretch meets up with you guys and tells you all about the shenanigans going on around town. At this point, it's about evening. Where would you guys like to go to sleep? If you would like to go to sleep at all. Being the nightlife time, you could go to see, this would still be an appropriate time to go see Diala, if you would like to. Over at her club.
Okay, I guess Emery's gonna go clubbing. I don't know that anyone else wants to do that.
I'm the only one that's dressed for the club.
I'll go.
By dressed for the
secure-
club, I mean almost naked.
Yeah.
I'll secure an inn, I suppose.
Okay.
We'd like to stop by the armorer, unless it's really late.
Said it's late.
Yeah, it's kind of late.
Oh,
I
well,
forgot
I'll
what it was.
hang out at the hotel.
Okay.
I
you guys
guess
can get
I
an-
will escort Emery then.
So you guys can get an Airbnb style, so to speak, with the linen spinner. He owns a chain of houses that you guys actually helped set up recently.
Yeah.
You guys kind of helped Dolan Bag of Stone with those guys to find housing for people who were displaced. There's also the inn that was down in the slums that you guys started off at, known as the In and Out. But there's also a nicer one up in the northwest district known as the Cocoon. If you guys would like to upgrade the style at which you're rolling in.
I'm fine with the slumming it one, just because I'm more used to those accommodations.
All right.
Just want it to be clean and not spooky, like the last hotel.
Standards are low.
Yeah. The old half ogre female with the white horseshoe hair very much so reminds me of the mother in Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Muriel.
Yeah, Muriel. I was to say Miriam. I was close. Meets you at the
You're very
door.
close.
This one's named Barrett, and
Barrett.
you guys can get rooms for a cheap 5 silver a night. And if you guys want to sandwich in, you guys can get one room big enough for 10 silver for everyone total.
Okay, so you meant 5 silver per person
Yeah.
per room. Okay.
We'll get 2 rooms.
Ilya's very tall, you see.
Emery needs her own room.
We'll get 3 rooms.
No. What I was saying is 3 of us crammed into one room.
Oh, we'll get 2 rooms.
Beautiful.
All right.
Meanwhile, the other 2 head towards the Oradon, the place of business for Diala. Let's see. It is also doubles as a temple for the curtain gods, as the clubbing is how people see worshipping Ada and Raji. And so it is, of course, very majestically, how do I put it? It's very visually flashy on the outside with beautiful stonework that leads up to like you're reaching a precipice just to get into the place. It's very Pantheon-esque in that sense, but more compact. And when you enter into the facility, there's all sorts of drums and different flashing of lights, almost like people are like almost like letting off fireworks inside this place, so to speak. There's different colored gems that are being set into the coals of the fires to cast different refractory lights into the space. And of course, you can smell all sorts of substances that would be illicit if this wasn't Lemoore. And so you make your way into this place, and sitting beyond the dance floor on almost like a throne, but like you can tell it's more of like a party throne more than anything else, is a stoic Diala who is seems to be enjoying presiding over the court that she has before her of people engaging in revelry and mild forms of debauchery.
What is the DM's version of mild?
Petting.
Okay.
Emery is very clearly like the socially awkward, like, excuse me, and I'm gonna try to like nose my way through the crowd to Diala and like give her kind of like a little like awkward wave to try to get her attention type of thing.
Okay.
But then Bull's standing like 3 feet taller than her behind her and just like,
Bodyguard Nash.
no. As soon as I walked into the door, I put on a set of bull horns.
She's got a big top hat that is slightly down and frumpy, like it's collapsed a bit, in a almost satire to the traditional top hat. She's got a gigantic gem on the top of a cane that is being held across the on one side of the throne, and just the slight appearance of a smirk underneath, where you can see the bright whites of a couple of teeth from her from underneath her
Mustache.
her crooked smile. That for as you try to make your presence known, you kind of wave and stuff like that, and for a brief second, you notice that her skin is pitch black, and you see a bright white eye underneath the brim of the top hat before it seems that she's her normal self right afterward again. Knowing witchcraft as well as you do, and having encountered her before, it seems as if she briefly let you see through her glamour for but a second.
What's the is a female pimp still called a pimp?
I think that'd be called a madam.
Pimpette? A madam?
Yeah. Yeah, matron of the house, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It seems to be a bit of a head nod in your direction with that gesture.
Okay, I'm gonna saunter up to her dais, so to speak.
As you approach, a big, meaty, Nash-like character with slightly more provocative clothes seems to look over in your direction, and you see that they kind of like tilt their head for a second before stepping back and making space.
Thank you. Excuse me. And I kind of still just very awkwardly like try to squeeze past him and like up to where I can kind of talk to Diala, because obviously in my head it's loud in there. I don't know that you've actually said there's like booming music, but
Oh, there is.
yeah.
Absolutely, there is.
Hi, Diana. Quite a party.
You see her mouth something that you can't quite hear.
What was that? I'm sorry.
And then you hear in your head, "Love, you should curtsy when you're in my court, and you come up to me in public like this."
She fumbles through a curtsy bow.
Like a true lady.
Uh,
I've been missing you and your brother.
have you noticed anything different?
A lot has changed since the last time I saw you. Yes.
I'm like trying to be coy about bro not being in my head anymore.
He goes, so eager to hold on, and yet your brother seems to have wandered off. Tell me, does that not breed conflict in your heart?
I never needed him to be quite that close anyway. As kind as you were to give me a chance to
Never say never for what we know to be true, dear one. Now, careful when you parley with a creature as I. Your word choice is important, is it not?
Yes. Yep. That's true.
And you notice that you can hear her clear as day right now, despite the booming music. Almost as if it's coming through your head and not through the chamber itself.
And I'm...
Nash, you don't hear anything with this exchange.
No, I was gonna say I'm actually standing like a few feet away, so I don't hear it, and I've got my back turned to them, like watching the crowd, not necessarily where they are.
Nice.
This is one of the very few places all walks of caste are represented here, bumping shoulders together. Like, there's executives making out with Flotsam.
And me, I'm so good at being careful with my words. So that I was actually wondering if maybe you might be able to shed some insight into something that we've encountered in the woodlands recently. They're so, you have so much knowledge about, I don't even know what you would call, like how she put my brother in my head and stuff. You know, like whatever word would be most appropriate for that type of magic or whatever, you know.
Necromancy.
It's necromancy, yeah.
Necromancy is the art of recycling.
Alright. Yeah. You have so much knowledge on the art of necromancy and souls, and I've run into an interesting situation you might be curious to hear about.
Oh, you bore me, child. It's all business and no play with you. Tell you what, relinquish your possessions, your big dog too, and enjoy the Oradan while you are here. If you can do that, you can show me that you can be interesting, then maybe I will tell you what you want to hear.
I'm not
And
quite...
I didn't necessarily hear her say this, but I could just feel the inflection. So Bull kind of like looks over his shoulder directly at her for a few seconds.
I'm not quite sure I understand what you mean.
Honey, you are tight. Your shoulders speak of, let's say, a sheltered lifestyle. If it's enlightenment that you are looking for, you will find it on the dance floor, will you not? Go engage in things that you are not privy to. Maybe afterward I will teach you the things that you want.
Okay. Let me just talk to the big man. And I turn around to Nash in like so confused. And I like kind of take him aside and I'm like, so she wants me to party and she might tell me stuff? I don't know if this is a good idea. It seems like a trap, but maybe not. Because, I mean, everybody here is just partying, right?
So, right now, you have earned 10 gratitude with Diala. At 10 gratitude, side quest options become available. At 50 gratitude, secret information may be granted. And at 100 gratitude, special favors can be granted. Right?
Okay.
So this is an opportunity for you to curry favor with her. And
How much does favor cost?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Is you can bribe people too, and that does work. But long story short is that you can spend rounds of revelry here, and that will curry more favor with her, which may or may not be useful in the future, but it will certainly make her more convinced to tell you secret information that you need to know.
The one thing is, I'm assuming you would have told Nash that you were supposed to get rid of me,
Yeah.
and that would be of concern. Like, what am I supposed to do then?
No, she said she wants both of you to party.
Oh, she wants both
I
of
thought-
us. Because
Get rid of-
I heard her say, get rid of the big dog.
No, she said get rid of your possessions. Like, set your possessions down here and go party.
I heard you say get rid of your muscular friend too.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Everybody dogpile on Josh.
she just wants us to party. We just have to set our things down.
I'm not setting my things down here.
Maybe we could set them
Yeah,
out.
she didn't promise that you get to pick them back up later. Food for thought.
Yeah, but are they still going to be there?
That's what I mean. Like, you're not going to get to pick them back up later.
Can we just? I'm gonna try asking this through my head to Diala. Is it all right if we just go drop our things off really quick and go
Oran,
back?
Oran, smite those who are so cautious. Gary can hold your stuff for you, and of course you can have it back when you're done. You are so worked up. Clearly, you need this.
Okay, fuck
And,
it.
and
Gary can hold our
I
things.
no, hold on. I look at Emery. I'm like, I'll hold your things, and I won't partake.
But she wanted us both to party hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you don't want to have fun?
I don't know who this lady is. This is my first time seeing her.
Yeah, she's an odd one. She's a djinn. I think I know that.
Yeah, you know that by now.
But she was the one who helped me keep my brother safe until I could
You
we could bring
guys
him back to life.
shouting at each other in this space because you guys don't have a telepathic link.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Well, she never said I couldn't leave.
it's true. Well,
What do you do?
So how about I take your things and go meet up with the others?
all right. I'm sure this won't end badly. I give you my things and I'm gonna party.
That's great.
And I am wink wink going to leave.
So, go ahead and hop on the dance floor, and you start dancing and trying to socialize these folks. So what I'm gonna need from you, I believe I have either a charm or a performance check, or cool.
All right. Come on. You said charm or performance or cool. I will do a charm check. Three, success. No advantage.
All right. So you spend the remainder of the early night dancing your tush off and trying to start like chatting with people that you haven't really just like socialized with strangers in a long time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels. Does it feel good? How does it feel?
Yep. A little awkward.
All right.
Not bad. But she's just shy.
The party. So keep track of your number of successes and advantage.
Okay.
Cumulative. The party continues. Would you like to continue to party?
I guess so. I mean, I have to party for 2 now.
Yeah. I mean, you have to party for 4. So you can roll again if you'd like.
She's gonna come back a changed woman.
1 and 4.
So you can add 5 to your.
Oh, I don't have to keep them separate.
So you add them all together.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So you are now have partied through the night into early morning. I need you to suffer the effects of not sleeping tonight.
Okay. I really wish I could edit my sheets. So we had already slept, so a strain was 0, so then I would take what, half strain?
Half strain.
That rounded up.
minus a I think a resilience check.
Yeah, I'm sure it's resilience. I just don't. And it's success and advantage on a resilience check, or only success?
Reduced by success on a simple resilience discipline or cool test. Yeah.
Okay. Suffered.
Okay. You get all the benefits of eating that night because the party does have snacks.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't sleep in a bed,
Mm-hmm.
so you do suffer a setback die this next day. Okay. The party is still going. Do you?
Oh, that means I'm gonna have to
continue
suffer
party?
that too.
Yeah, actually. What are you doing at this point? Yeah.
I winked before I said I was leaving,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm still close by.
Okay, so you're
I'd
like
be-
in the corner being a guard.
Yeah, I would be attempting to keep her within sight.
Okay. No, that's not hard to do. Your presence is pretty obvious, especially given the fact that you're fucking gargantuan and you're decked out in the 9s with armor and weapons in a celebratory place and you're not participating. So you're like a known entity here right now. But that doesn't keep like there's a couple of people who are hitting on you simply because it's like that whole like people screwing with the British guards, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah. So I would say I'm not like, standing British guard in the corner, like eyes like a hawk. I would say I found like a table by myself.
Sure.
I'm sorry, it was half strain minus resilience.
Resilience, discipline, or cool check. Yep. Just successes.
And
specifically.
just the successes. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get this figured out quick.
Okay. While you do that, come morning, Emery, the party is still in full swing. What do you do?
Ooh. Do you think they are satisfied yet? I kind of am like looking over at her.
You can give me an interpretation check.
Yeah, I'll try that. And if I can't tell, I'll just go talk to her. Woo. 0 success, 4 advantage.
You have a feeling that you could probably get whatever information that you wanted out at this point. Like you've kind of gone beyond what is customary, but this is not a customary situation either. And so while you might be able to get the information that you want, you get the feeling that you might be leaving something on the table as well.
All right. Fuck it, I'll party a little harder. It's been a while.
Do some drugs.
She's never partied like this.
Right? So, come morning, Ilya and Wretch, half your party never came home last night.
Those troublesome kids.
Wait,
Well, we haven't heard about a massacre at a nightclub, so we're probably okay.
Yeah, but you've been sleeping. How would you hear about it?
You know, they'd probably come looking for us.
Barrett mutters while she slops oatmeal into your bowl in the morning. There's never something good coming from that damnable place. It's all rockets.
Well, I mean, if anybody is going to be okay in an environment like that, it's going to be Nash. Everybody else in the room, maybe not, but
I like how it's Nash and not Emery.
Oh, stinky
Emery would
doggy.
not be okay in that
I
environment.
should know.
She's okay with Nash there.
They told
So,
us they're going there to Diala, right?
yeah. I think they're
Yeah, because you would have had to tell us what hotel you were at.
very true.
I think we established that you guys all had that conversation.
So,
Let's head over.
yeah, head over there, see how she's doing.
Okay. There's dual doors to keep the light from getting into the facility as you guys enter. And I need you two and Nash to all give me either a perception or a vigilance check.
Uh-oh.
I guess this would be a perception check for the two of you and a vigilance check for Nash.
Did you say vigilance? You cut out.
Vigilance for Nash. Yep, perception for the other two.
0.
And nothing for me.
1 and 3.
2 and 0.
Okay, so you two see each other. Wretch is too short.
Oh, howdy there, Nash. Everything okay? You guys didn't come back to the hotel.
And I just kind of point to wherever Emery is.
Yeah, it's you've had your eye on her this whole time, so it's really obvious that she's at there's like a corner booth table that's been passing drinks around, and she's been hitting those with some of the revelry folks.
And then after that, I'm just like, pull up a chair. We're not allowed to approach. She's been partying all night.
I'm gonna be in so much trouble.
Like no one can really see it, but I just kind of like check that the book Emery and I discussed is still in my cloak, and like of course it is, but just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wag their finger at her.
Okay. Since you committed Emery to this, I'm gonna have you roll again.
Alright. Triumph and 3 success.
Okay. So you can count that as, I'll say, 7 success.
Whee!
You can add to the results as you continue to party this day. So you guys are watching, and she doesn't seem to be letting up at all. What did the three of you talk about, and what are your plans here?
I wanna.
So as it is obvious that this continues going on, I just look at Ilya. I hand him Emery's stuff, and I'll be like, "I'm going back to the hotel."
Okay.
I was gonna go shopping, but I won't leave you here.
I'm not gonna leave her here. I'm gonna like shout into the party at Emery like, "Hey, have you concluded your business here? What's going on? I got places to be."
Can't hear you till my partying's done. After this bout of partying, I will check in with Diala.
Okay. This bout of partying is until night.
Oh, damn.
Until the
No,
evening.
can't do that.
I take a nap.
So you guys, Bull goes to nap. Wretch and Ilya, I'm assuming you guys get impatient. Do you approach her? Do you guys join in? Do you guys leave?
I'm not putting my stuff down to go join in that. So I'm gonna like approach her.
Hey, you guys can talk.
Emery,
My dancing moves haven't gotten any better.
doing some dance aerobics.
Yeah, they're like really bad.
Like
Wretch is
we
a
got
party boy,
places
isn't
to
he?
be.
No.
I know, but she's making me do this until I give her answers. And I only know so many moves. Do you know any other moves?
Not a one. Although with Ilya's agility, he could do something special.
Yeah, you want to join in?
No. Partying, fun.
Ilya starts partying. Wretch just leaves.
Howdy.
Yeah, I'm not putting my sword down for nobody.
You like literally can summon it back to you. You're like, nah, I'm not risking it. World's deadliest glow stick.
Yeah.
But he can only summon if he has story points, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, true that.
Yeah, but I got two of them, and
right.
if I have to summon it back to my hand suddenly in this place, I'm not going to need to do that again.
Nope.
One way or another. So, like, Emery, we've got stuff to do. So, like, what are you actually getting from Diala out of this transaction?
She told me she might tell me more about the Cinder stuff. So that sounded worth partying for just a little bit longer.
Well, I got stuff to do. You got stuff to do. I don't want to leave you here with these people.
It's fine. I'm fine making friends, right?
Yeah,
Steve?
Steve is your friend, for sure. And
Is it obvious she's under the influence of something?
oh yeah, like she's partake in substance. But if you would like to do like an alchemy check or a knowledge dark check to see if she is befuddled by some sort of spell, then that's going to be something else. Probably.
I am currently practicing dark magic with my eyelids.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, by way, I did mean like nap, so like short rest nap, and then seeing that nobody is back, I would head back whatever time that would be. I'm assuming
Yeah.
about nighttime.
Well, a short rest is an hour, so yeah, and you can take a quick nap or a couple hours if you want. And head back.
So if at the end of this party session is already nighttime, I assume I would be back as Ilya's talking to her, I guess is when I would walk back in.
No, because the other like Ilya and Wretch, you guys could still potentially cut out and go do stuff today if you wanted to. So I just kind of need to know if you guys are gonna leave or not.
I'll be fine.
She says, Reg, do you think you could babysit Emery and her stuff? Because I don't believe her.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Okay, I'm gonna hand the stuff off to Reg here and give him a blessing. Pat on the top of the head and the proudest look. And I want to go to an armorer to see about enchanting my sexy new plate mail.
Give me a streetwise check.
Oh gosh, golly.
I'll try and find a dwarven armor.
Something other than a bonk stat's useful?
Wait a minute. I have 2 ranks in Streetwise, I'll have you know.
Nice.
Oh.
No,
okay,
no reason to
horseshoe.
brag. That just means you know 2 streets.
Hey, that's more than 1. 1 and 1.
All right. We okay. So you go to Stornholt's Arms and Armor, a place that you've been to before, that is ran by Harmach Stornholt, who is a Jotun blood who appears to be missing an arm and a leg, both of which that have been replaced by very nice prosthetics that are clearly enchanted and have mastercraft technology to allow him to articulate the limbs and work his smith. In fact, he also has a set of limbs that he appears to be in the middle of making, and you walk in with him tinkering with it. The set of limbs is for what you know Jotun bloods to be shapeshifters, people who can go from being humanoid-sized to giant-sized. And so you intuit that these limbs are for his giant size. Having dealt with him before, he recognizes you and gives you a head nod. And very recognizably warrior to warrior. Greeting, stranger.
Greetings. I am looking to enhance the armor that I'm wearing.
He kind of looks it over. Are you wearing that gold and silver inlaid plate mail right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Circle down to this. He goes, I'm sorry, but we have mildly enchanted gear here. I myself am more of a smith and less of a script artist, but he gestures towards some of his gear. For much stronger enchantments that I can't do myself, I have always leaned towards Malegdrian's magic markets. Malegdrian is up in the executive district, just that way. And his craft is good.
So, yeah, I think I'll head that way then. Thank you, sir.
Yes, of course. Come back if you happen to need any high-quality arms and armor. And he waves you on. So continuing up the street, you eventually get into the executive district, and it makes you a little uncomfortable being in the executive district. It's definitely full of like a type of people that you're not used to bumping shoulders with, and there's guards that continuously scrutinize you. But you come across this very well built establishment of stonework and colored glass, stained glass, that says Malegdrian's Magic Market. Walking in, you come into a place full of like very, very well made goods of all sorts. This is not a like a clothing shop necessarily, but it is clearly a place that specializes in enchantment or script magic. And unfortunately, though, as you round into the main area, of course, all of this area is attended with guards. You do come across a onyx who is built of light tan materials and is partially coated in silver and gold veins. This individual turns and looks towards you, and they've got light, very well-made silk clothing covering up parts of their body, but not in the traditional senses that people with private parts would be concerned about. It's very kind of misshapen, but in an artistic way. The scarf type materials. And he looks over at you. Greetings. I am Malegdrian, and welcome to my emporium.
Yes. Hello. I'd like to enchant this armor that I'm wearing.
Let me take a look. He walks forward and very daintily runs his hand over the front of it and on your shoulder. This is well built. This is certainly enchantable. I can take a look at some of the features that might be compatible with the engravings that is on this particular piece, but it'll take some time.
How much time?
Oh, certainly by the end of the day, I could come up with a list of a few enchantments that we could potentially imbue upon the current script work that is set here.
I mean, can you do an investigation or interpretation check? Like, am I just some nobody to him, or was there a hint of recognition when he saw me?
Yeah, give me an interpretation check.
Holy shit. One triumph, one success, two advantage.
With the triumph, even though he has no mouth, like no expressions that you could easily read off of a normal sapient creature, you can tell that this particular person is not treating you in a way that you would expect from someone from the Bronze.
Okay.
They're treating you like a customer. And in this particular district, you know that courtesy is king. And so you're pretty comfortable with Malegdrian probably just being a businessman. And the thing is that his store is uh, he's got a very, very reputable business, and so that's probably more lucrative than what he could do through the bronze, and certainly less risky if he's this competent.
Okay, I will leave this armor to you, and return when you've had some time to look it over.
Absolutely. And just go ahead and sign in the book here, and you will receive this receipt portion here.
So I guess I'll sign.
Yeah, and you just make sure that basically they have got record of what they took from you, and so that they can make sure that you get it back, and then everything's all on the up and up. All right. Anything else that you want to do today?
More stamina potions.
Stamina potions. Yeah. So you've got a couple of options. You can go to Bitterroot's business with Both down in the slums. And he can sell you some stuff. If you'd like to go to a more reputable place, you can go to the Twisted Tincture in the Market District when you first came into town. Or the Silver Lining Smoke Shop.
I don't want to travel too far without armor.
You went for quite a while without armor.
I did. And now that I have the unrelenting, I can take care of things twice as fast. I'm gonna go to the more reputable one.
All right. So heading to the Twisted Tincture. You've actually been here before. The front counter is ran by a middle-aged black woman by the name of Asia. She's very personable, pretty attractive, and seems to have very little knowledge about alchemical ingredients. She keeps having to shout to the person in the back, who seems to be much more unruly, but much more competent, who keeps shouting responses about where to find things and what would be good for what ails you, so to speak. Anyways, I'm sorry. Is what you were asking for something that could help you quickly regain your strength in the middle of hard efforts?
Yes. Well, only for 4 to 6 hours, otherwise I'll need to contact my healer.
There's a whole crate on the bottom shelf. Three aisles to the left. Okay. Yellow liquid. All right. She goes over and.
No.
Oh, okay. So she just you see like performance enhancements. She pulls. There's a whole crate of these. She goes, how many were you looking for? Just for one night? I mean, for one day, or?
Lady! I need 3 potions?
You want 3?
Yeah.
Give me a streetwise check.
Golly.
He's blue. That means he's cold. You don't want that.
1 and 1.
Okay, give me another streetwise check.
Oh no.
He's blue.
1 and 2.
Okay. You're able to
Double
find
blue.
3.
Hell yeah.
They're 50 silver apiece.
Oh, geez. Suppose I can afford it now. So,
Meanwhile, Bull's waking up and Wretch is. Are you thoroughly bored still, or are you losing your guard and wanting to join in the fun, or?
Just to say, I would say that Nash wakes up and heads back towards the club, like mid-afternoon.
Okay.
Gretchen's
What would
been- Gretchen's been blowing his horn of noise making at odd intervals. Sometimes, sometimes not.
Toot! Toot toot!
I have one horn of noise making, so
would there be any strain recovery, or do I roll a test for that? from a nap?
Yeah, you can do one resilience roll and get success worth.
You can keep doing your thing, Wretch. I'm just doing my roll.
I'm just tooting the little horn.
All right.
Can I go over my strain?
No, you don't get to have more strain than you're capable.
Can I
of.
wake up really refreshed?
Dang, I feel
Not
great.
at the in and out. Ilya, how about you? Is there anything after you're done with your potions that you'd like to do?
Just head back to the inn.
Okay. You hit up
So I
the
guess
inn around the same time as Bull is leaving.
and when I got to the club, I would relieve Wretch so he could go do his stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna go shopping unless it's late at night, in which case I'll do it tomorrow.
No, you got time.
No, I said mid-afternoon.
All right. I seek out a weaponsmith.
All right. Give me a streetwise check.
I spend a story point to have at one point treated some sort of ironworker that might be able to give me a tip.
They tell you about Stormholt's arms and armor.
Nice. Do I still streetwise?
Nope, you're good.
Thanks, story point.
Yep.
All right. I walk into Stormholt's arms and armor, and I walk up to the person, to Stormholt's, with his arms, working on armor.
Mm-hmm.
Is he
Quite
busy?
presumptuous of you. Maybe he works on it with his feet.
Ooh.
I
Or
feel
his
safe in
wings.
perception. All right. Is Stormholt's there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You there,
Mm.
Smithy?
I recognize this armor. It has got my trademark on it.
You did a great job. It has saved me from several deaths.
You do me proud. Thank you. I wear your compliment with honor. What can I do for you?
You see this? I put my bonkin stick on the counter. This is neat. This has been good. I like this. Problem. When thing bigger than me is bonkin, not much good. So, does he have arms displayed
Yeah.
Like- on the wall? Okay. I'm gonna find a halberd and point at it. It's rarity 3, so it should be there.
Yeah.
All right. I like one of these take down bigger things, and I want it superior. I say with like kind of like ravenous eyes.
He goes, well, I've got options. Give me a streetwise check. Actually, no, you spent a story point. We're good. He goes, if you want one of those, I do have a fresh set of berserker blades, one in halberd form. But I do have this as well. And you see this spear with an ivory handle set into a golden gilded spear tip. He goes, "This is the gilded spear of impaling. Bigger the foe, powerful the blow." He hands it to you. So this counts as a spear, a heavy spear in the Genesis gear, but
Yeah.
it counts as a silver weapon, which means that it can be used against entities that have resistance. So like ethereal, like ghosts and stuff like that. Silver weapons will work against cursed entities, that sort of stuff, which will stack with your ability that you already have. And it grants the impaling strike talent and is even usable against ethereal and incorporeal creatures.
Huh. That is pretty nice. Oh. How much?
32 gold.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll get a holy spear. Yeah. Okay.
And the more you poke things with it, the holier they get.
I'll buy his holy spear.
All right. He goes,
So platinum is 100 gold?
a platinum is 100 gold.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got 3 $100 bills. He wants 30 something.
I'll ask him if he has change for
Oh yeah,
the
he
platinum.
does. He certainly does.
Okay. Then I bought a holy spear. That's neat.
Yeah.
All right. It's the silver spear of impaling.
Yep. So I'm just gonna take a little bit here and throw this into the chat.
I
So-
believe he said gilded, but it has
Gilded,
these silvered attributes.
Correct. General chat. Doop. So gilded spear of impaling strike counts as a silver weapon. Its hard points are used up. It grants impaling strike even on ethereals.
I'm sorry, did
Oh.
you describe what impaling strike was?
It's a
talent.
talent in the Genesis talent book. So it just gives you a straight up talent.
Okay. And then I was gonna buy stamina and health potions, but I gotta type some stuff out, so go to someone else.
Okay. Is everyone else at the Auradon now?
I believe it would only be me.
Hey.
Well, and Emery if she's still alive.
Okay. Ilya, you went back to the tavern, bumped shoulders with Nash, and went to bed? Or what are you doing with the rest of your day?
I'm just waiting around to be able to come back to figure out what I can do with that armor. So I'm just gonna hang out in the tavern.
All right, so we'll just fast forward. You meet back up with Melegdrian, and he goes, "I did find several suitable enchantments for this particular set. I think that you will not be disappointed. Most of these are protective magics of quite a powerful array. Take a look here. This particular enchantment." And you're seeing these pictures that are almost three-dimensional and warping your brain. With just the script work is magnificent. It reminds you of looking at your blade. He goes, "This one will give you, will give the bearer of the armor more grace than they would otherwise have experienced in their lifetime. The enchantment is the Enchantment of Grace, and it provides +1 agility. So
Hot damn.
your agility would go up to 5, which then also applies to your defenses and your movement speed and all of that. This next one over here is a little bit more of the protective type, and it helps you shrug off blows. It grants you 3 ranks in durable and 1 rank in unstoppable. What that means is that every single time you get crit, you reduce the crit value by 30. And 1 rank in unstoppable, I believe that talent, which these are all talents, is if you're crit and it is reduced to 1 or less, you don't suffer the crit at all. So this durable would stack on any durable that you already have. And
Yeah, if critical injury roll is 1 or reduced to 1, you don't receive the crit.
yeah. So essentially you'd have a 30% chance of not getting a crit. And then on top of that, if you did get the crit, you had a 30% chance of not getting a crit, and if you got any crit higher than that, it would be reduced significantly. And then the last one, he goes, over here, this has to do with the armor's particular ability to absorb any sort of ill spells targeting you. It is 3 ranks in the deflect spell talent. He goes, now, the first one, this grace one's a bit harder to do, but it definitely still can within a reasonable time frame. The other 2 are a little bit more on the same level. Is there something that one of these that particularly strikes your fancy?
Well, they're all pretty neat.
If you want a quick rundown on deflect spell, if you get hit with magic damage, you can spend strain to use the talent to reduce the damage before soak by 2 plus your ranks, so 5 if it's got 3 ranks.
So it's your parry, but for magic.
It's pretty neat, and I'm already really agile.
But it does take 3 strain to activate it, so you'd have to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
So one thing that applies to pretty much any attack that actually hits you that does a crit. One thing that does any offensive spell that does damage, it would help you reduce that. Or agility, which is a little bit of movement speed, a little bit of moving around, a little bit in skill checks, a little bit in defense.
Yeah, because if he goes up to 5, he'd get another point into melee defense, correct?
And ranged defense.
And my attack.
And his
Yeah,
attack.
finesse.
And his movement speed. And his perception checks. And his... That one's more expensive, though.
Well, I do have some cheddar on me. It's a tough one.
From my understanding, enchantments are really expensive, from what I've been seeing.
They are.
Yeah, there's like a exponential curve. It's like getting all, like, you guys can see the basic equipment now is like for you guys, like, things go up in orders of magnitude.
Mm.
Yeah, like that armor that you're getting enchanted was worth 50,000 gold.
Wait, is that gold or silver?
50,000
No, that's
silver.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
sorry, silver.
So that would be
500 gold.
500 gold. Okay.
It's
Hot damn.
you have the 2 most valuable things in the entire party.
I have a lot of sticks.
They're good sticks.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna own a house.
Damn right you are.
Oh, God.
And I'm still making do with my starter gear. I just keep improving it.
Yeah.
How much would the Grace one, the agility, cost me?
Give me a negotiation check.
Oh.
Should have brought your scary buddy.
You know, oh man, nope. For advantage.
You got your
Okay.
horseshoe still?
I used my horseshoe to re-roll something else.
The same day?
Oh,
Because
no.
it is a different day.
It is a different day. Thank you for reminding me. Holy shit, that helped. 3 success.
With that change, he's willing to give you a 10% discount. And I could get this done for 90 gold.
Huh. I really like that agility one.
It's going to cost you 90 gold.
Just give him the whole platinum.
Just yeah, the 10
Tip
gold
well.
tip.
There's your 10%.
I gave that lady an extra 5% of our profits. That was
yeah,
a way
no,
more
give us
generous
the-
tip.
Why is he always doing that? He's always tipping.
Currying favor, I don't know if it actually ever works or not.
It does. Mesa is on your guys' list as someone you've gained favor with.
Nice.
And in fact, that's a good
And the
point.
helping her.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the grace.
Our,
Like
our excellent choice, I must say. He closes the book and goes, I can get this armor to you in just a couple of days, and it should the script in it should last longer than your mortal life.
you know, that might be damning with faint praise considering my profession, but thank you.
Okay. So he's gonna hold on to your armor and enchant it.
Hell
Oh yeah, did you ask how long that was gonna take?
He said a few days.
A few
Okay.
days, unless you wanted to leave a good tip.
What if I left the other 10 gold as a tip?
Oh, we could work overnight and get this done and give me 24 hours.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
I don't want to rush it, mind you, so I will bring in extra script crafters and make sure that this is done properly. We'll each pick a section and get it done in that time, but even the proportion, it should take a dedicated smith at least that much time to get the details honed out and have someone else oversee their gear, oversee their work, especially after applying their craft for hours on end.
Well, pleasure doing business with you, sir.
And you.
That was the most pleasant interaction with an Onyx that Ilya has ever had.
Is he less racist now?
Not a bit.
Somehow reinforced. I don't have to be beholden to their kind touching my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I'm assuming, do you guys all want to meet back up at the, wait, did
I
Rex...
did want to grab stamina and health potions if possible.
Yeah, give me a streetwise check.
2 and 1.
Okay. Give me another streetwise check.
1 and 2.
Okay. So you can find 2 of one of those and 1 of another one of those. But you can keep rolling if you would like. I could give you 2 rolls for each of those in the time it would take to meet up with everyone here in the evening after Emery's on party.
I'll do 1 health potion, 2 stamina potions. It's fine.
Okay. They're just base price out of the Genesis gear. 25 silver for each health potion and 50 for each stamina potion, I believe.
Oh, stamina costs more.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And as you guys come in and check on Emery, you are probably pretty tired at this point and have suffered from hors d'oeuvre overdose.
Mm-hmm. Too many snacks.
Yeah. And
Careful,
so,
those Hollywood parties put shrooms in the chocolate.
Uh-huh.
are you ready to be done dancing, or are you going to try to convince your friends to join you?
No. I think that I've pushed myself a little too far here.
Okay. How many successes? What's your tally?
50.
15.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So I'm gonna kind of stumble over to Diala, be like, "Oh, what a party!"
She stands, and as she does, a bunch of people start to look over in her direction, and she crooks the staff in her arm and starts to clap, and the rest of the group on the dance floor starts to clap for the musicians and the other people who are putting on the show.
Mm-hmm. I clap too.
And she takes her stick and does one of these with it, and people start clearing out, actually. And you expect more people to use the front door, but people actually start moving into back rooms and partying more in the back rooms.
All right. I was immediately imagining you saying they did like what the orcs do in the dwarves game, where they just start like tunneling,
digging straight
and then
down
just
through
disappear.
the ground randomly. Yeah. So she walks over to a kind of like a side sanction area with a curtain sort of thing, and beckons for you to sit down. And at this point, whether or not everyone else wants to be included, that's up to them. That's fine. But she
That'll depend on if where I've been sitting is visible to that area.
it's not going to be based off of it's a privacy space.
I would at least go somewhere where I can see the entry point into that room,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't go into the room.
Okay. What about the other two?
I'd hang out with Nash. I don't really feel
I'm
like
gonna
dealing with
hang
that.
out with Nash and Rat.
Okay. I am. How do I say? I am left speechless by your mirth, girl. You've got heart.
Gee, thanks.
And open-mindedness is a quality I wish more people shared.
Yeah, me too. It's quite a party you threw. That was you know what? I had fun.
Glad to hear it. Mayhaps I'll have fun with this conversation. Now, what is it you wanted to know? You thought would be interesting to me? I am, got to say, eager to hear. A story well aged is. There's nothing like it.
Okay. Well, if you're interested in this story, then I'll start from the beginning. And I will, tell her kind of the whole spiel of what we've learned about, like, Cinder's parasite and our plan of, like, our thought of taking, Rondadrol as a potential, like, conduit for the parasite, but we're unsure of, like, whether that would work or not. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just super paraphrasing because we've talked about this a lot.
Yep.
But that's something, and just kind of be like, that's something like completely unprecedented, but it is oddly similar to like what you had done for me. And you seemed like the best expert I could think of to even ask if it would be something that's possible to do. If it would work.
This thing, it eats magic, yes? It has a host. Sounds like poor Viona has passed her time, but this parasite has slipped from her body and did not die with her host. Leads me to believe that it can certainly leave whenever it would find it valuable. You just have to make it worth your while. Question is whether or not you have a sink that is more agreeable than Cinder. Doesn't sound like Cinder is giving it a free ride. It must be hard for it to suffer through the defenses of a god. The artists, they do not come quietly. I imagine a willing donor, especially one that such a creature has already acquired the taste for, might find a smaller morsel that is less capable of defending itself to be a worthwhile snack. But if this thing truly does eat of magic, as you say. And did you tell her of Leanne and Shay? And the factors and whatnot that you discussed about that stuff?
Honestly, I don't see...
Like the cage and stuff.
Yeah, I don't see a reason not to share any of that information. So, sure, yeah.
The thing is I find beauty in the tragedy of success. Rondedorf is be a fitting story if that is his end. But perhaps it does not need to be so. After all, this thing, it eats the magic. Anything that eats can starve. Even a fire, you can starve, and it does not leave. Is that true?
Yeah, I suppose. That makes sense.
Of course, I only speak truth. So,
Then why'd you ask?
So, if you lure this into her underdrop, all you need to do is find the suitable quarantine. Mayhaps there are other morsels that this thing would find tasty. Perhaps if it is magic and not meat that it looks to. She kind of looks out towards your compatriots. She goes, mayhaps some powerful artifact of magical essence, something imbued with script, just powerful enough, may lure it as well.
Would that lure it? Wait, we're all together, right?
You're sitting off at the other table with the other two. You see
We don't hear this
Ayala
conversation at all.
tip her head out of the curtain
Yeah.
and then sit back.
It may... Would you mind at all if I brought my friend in to join this discussion?
No, not at all.
All right. And I kind of dip my head out the window. I'm like, Ilya, you might find this of interest. Could you come here?
Sure.
So she's saying, yeah, you've heard it. So I just.
So, I in no way will part with my sword, but would it simply be a lure?
Yeah. If you're unwilling to part with a comrade, if you're unwilling to part with your toys, then maybe you'll need to broker with those with the tools you do not have.
Well, I mean, I'm unwilling to part with my sword because it's immensely powerful and blessed by a god.
You do not need to rationalize this with me. I am simply laying out your options.
So are you saying that Harandradolf himself might not be enough of a lure, and that we would?
No. He certainly may be good enough. But he could die. Is his life worth more to you than your toy?
Unfortunately, Harandradolf is willing to make the sacrifice, as he's living on a bit of borrowed time. So it is a suiting thing for him, but as you said, if the thought is to starve the creature out, we'd have to find a place where we could do that, like a quarantine.
You could simply shut him up in a sarcophagus, put him in a place the thing cannot escape, let it extinguish itself. A casket of lead or onyx, maybe. Or, sorry, lead or
onyx.
obsidian, maybe.
That sounds like a horrible way to go, Harandradolf.
Could starve and suffocate to death.
Damn.
Tomb.
While being eaten
Well,
by a
we could
parasite.
we could also set it up so that he like falls into eternal sleep when we close the coffin too,
Yeah.
I think
where he'll
that's
just
pretty
fall
horrifying.
asleep and then die.
That's also like a ticking time bomb. I mean,
Okay, we could just kill him.
yeah, like, give him a quick, merciful death.
And
And
the
this-
parasite
if-
would
if it
just talk
comes-
to something else, like it did.
That's why that's why I suggested we do it while he's in the coffin.
Maybe
Yeah,
it would
I'm.
talk to us or Ilya's sword.
I don't want to give up my sword. I need to kill stuff, and I've got a debt to pay to the god of natural disasters. I mean, like, this armor that I'm getting enchanted is pretty powerful and magical. If it came down to it, where
Oh, darling, that is powerful amongst the commoners. Your sword is of something else entirely, and you're talking of an entity that is eating a god. Your
say-
armor is nothing in comparison.
well, I mean, kind of a catch-22 with my sword is that I need it to fulfill a debt that I created when it was blessed by Azralam. And
Again?
the incurring the wrath of Azralam to fail him in that way is probably a fate worse than what would happen if we found some alternative.
Then you are
And if-
hemmed in by risks. You lose a comrade, you lose a toy, or you broker with those with the tools you do not have. There are folks in this city who may be able to help you find a cure. Sounds to me like you are familiar with folks who could trap this thing by snatching it up against its will into an appropriate cage. And there are those that maybe you do not even know. I hear the black dragons are drinkers of souls. Mayhaps one of them can lure your creature to its demise.
Perhaps.
This has been very enlightening. I appreciate your time.
It's always a pleasure. Enchanté.
Can't think of anything else to ask her, so unless anybody...
So as you guys walk out, you just see me and Wretch standing there or sitting there, and for some reason Nash has his arm around like his shoulders. Like, it's okay, Gumby buddy.
Oh,
Hey.
And before you, as you guys stand up to leave, Emery, Diala says, and before you go, she leans forward and whispers, lightly so only you can hear. She goes, you do not forget that you may find, you may find unlikely allies in the most unanticipated of places. For there are those who are asking the same questions as you. And with that, you hear faintly in your head the reverberation, what am I?
What the fuck?
The reverberation of what am I, reminiscent of when it was spoken, Quillets back by another creature entirely.
By the big slug monster?
By the snails.
Snail monster.
By the snails.
snails!
I mean, it was an obvious callback to something he said at the beginning of the session. Come on, guys.
I just forgot the exact type of goo monster.
As you guys leave Diala's, we will leave you guys thinking about your next steps for our next session.
Okay.
We have like 3 makeup sessions, so we should do them all in a straight line. Everybody good for tomorrow?
Hell yeah.
Oh.
I'm cool with that, as long as you guys go in a very particularly prepared route. Let me know what, roughly speaking, you guys want to do next. But we can do that over text or whatever, just so that way I have a chance to figure out where you guys are gonna go and whatnot.
Hey guys, just to throw them off, let's travel for like 3 weeks just to get to the beach and spend a week there.
Hell yeah, beach episode.
Beach episode!
You don't think I have beach episodes planned?
Who else is on the beach?
The nearest
Friends.
beach is a long ways away, okay?
But I've got so much unused content from the pirate campaign that I can whip out.
It's a pirate beach episode. Love
Yarr.
Next episode officially called "Whipping It
It's-
Out on the Beach."
it.
There's gonna be a one-shot with all of our characters where they do like that weird holiday episode where we're suddenly pirates and we're on a beach.
Yeah.
I want sun-lotioned noses for all of you.